Right, well, it's back home in my garage. It's been overnight. All this is dry up here, all around the steering box is dry. The only drip we've got is underneath the diff, and you might just be able to see there's a little bit on the diff. So I think we might need to just check the diff level when we get back to the workshop. I'm not working in there today, I've got work off site, but I think we need to maybe get that diff guard off and potentially have a look at the diff and check the level in there and see whether that fluid is again collected in there from when we done the steering box change or whether it is diff related. So right, let's get off and get on with this other job off site today. Hello, it's Tuesday. I wasn't here yesterday, I had more NAN duties to attend to. I'm trying to do more NAN duties today. I'm on the phone talking to various estate agents, etc. But internet is playing up something chronic. So I can't even make phone calls. So anyway, I'm on the Defender today because on Sunday I went for a breakfast meet with a friend who's got a couple of Land Rovers that he wants dealing with. He's not interested in them anymore, let's say. He's got 3, he wants to keep one of them. The other 2 he wants dealt with and removed. One's a disco and it needs either a gearbox or a transfer box. And he's got a Project Defender 110 that he bought to do, and it's just sat there for years and years. So I've got to collect the disco, get all the transfer box or gearbox changed for him and sell, and then do the same with the Defender. Probably not get it ready and to sell, to running and driving and together, but at least get it back here and get it photographed and sold for him with a bit of commission on my side. But on the way back from the breakfast meet, my brakes locked on. I say locked on, they were binding to the point where I got back in the garage and I couldn't push it backwards and forwards. It was, you know, probably almost lock solid. So yesterday morning on the way out to my nan's, I dropped it up here and jumped in my Jag. This morning it's moving free as a bird. So what I'm going to do, I've got this wheel off already. I'm just going to go around and service all the brakes. So I'm going to pop the pads out, compress the piston back, pump the pedal, get him back out, compress it, etc. Just to try and free it up, because obviously it's been sat around. Well, it was sat around for 3 or 4 months in the workshop over Christmas. And obviously it might need a bit of servicing on the old brakes to free them up. So that's the plan. And see if that makes any difference. Also, I'll obviously need to look at the brake drum in case it's the handbrake drum that's seizing up. But we'll do all the brakes anyway, just as a matter of course. And then we'll lift it up and we'll get the service brake, the handbrake looked at. So anyway, right, let's get on. I'm going to pop the pins out of each caliper to get the pads out, and then obviously compress the piston. Right, so I've had the pads out. I've moved the pistons back, pumped them back out, moved them back, pumped them back out again. So I'm now going to move them back, clean up everything, the faces of everything, and refit the pads. And I'm just going to go around and do that on all 4 really. I'll let you know if I find anything untoward, but this one seems to move nice and freely. Good morning. Just out on my daily walk, delivering a watering can to my friend. Thought I might as well walk there instead of drive and use up my daily walk. So apologies to everyone. I know there's not been a lot going on recently. I've been in charge of my nan's move and the sale and the purchase of her new house because I have lasting power of attorney, and that's quite a job. So I know there's not been much going on in the workshop. There are plans afoot for stuff in the workshop. It's just getting the time to do it. Best of all though, skies are blue and the current runs out, so hopefully summer is on its way. So yeah, so thank you for all bearing with me. Thank you for those that stuck around. It's just a quick short just to explain that there's not been a great deal going on. And if I'm honest, I've lost my way a bit with that green Defender. It won't take a lot to do, it's just I've lost my mojo. I don't know where it's gone. But I have kind of booked help for a day. My friend who comes in and does the welding for me, he's a Land Rover man as well, so I've said to him, I'll pay him for a day, come and help me, we'll both spend a whole day on it, and I reckon we'll get pretty much all of it done. I just need that little kick up the backside. With everything else going on, I've just not got the drive to do it, which I should, because obviously the customer will want it back at some point, so I need to get it done and get it out. So anyway, there's a couple of things going on next week, but I'll explain then. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you very soon, hopefully. Have a lovely weekend. Good morning. We're at the start of another week. It's actually Monday, which is unusual for me at the minute. I'm waiting on paperwork and phone calls and all other malarkey, so I'm here cracking on now. Let me show you what we've got to do today. My friend's trailer. I borrowed it to move those Discoveries before, and I need to pick up another couple of Land Rovers hopefully this week. So what I need to do is just tidy it up really. We haven't got a number plate mount, that's just cable tied on. The lights and the wiring is all a bit ropey. So as part of my thank you for borrowing it, I'm going to do some work on it. Now, I couldn't lift it from underneath because of the way the wheel arches are. So we've had to use straps and we're lifting it like this. Now, I'm not going to go too crazy with this. It's just so I can get the wheels off the floor to adjust the brakes, etc. So first job I'm going to do, I've put the handbrake on and they're all locked on bar one. So I am just going to nip the middle up. So if I can get them all just to nip up, that will do me a world of good. And then we need to sort this whole cabling malarkey out because it's a bit terrible. Okay, so with regards to the brake cables, the main nut on that rod was completely seized. I couldn't move it, even with the air gun. So I had to do all the individual ones individually, let's say. So yeah, they all now lock on with the handbrake, and when the handbrake's off, they run freely. So with any luck, that is the brake sorted. I'm now moving on to the electrics. It had a trailer board taped to there, bit of wire running all the way up the middle. So what I've done is I've actually connected it to this channel here is where all the side lights wire into. So I've just run the wire, cable tied all the way along there, up to the hitch, so we can put the plug back on. And then we'll wire up this light here, and then we'll run a cable that for the extra bits that goes over to the other side. Now the other side light is actually complete, so I might be able to carry on using that. And I'll have to probably use this trailer board one on here temporarily until he gets the matching light. So that's my plan. But for today, I just need to rotate the 90 because I need to get my Defender in here as well tonight. So yeah, I've got to have a bit of a clear up, rotate that round and get the Defender in, and then I'll come back and do this. Okay, so we are back in Wednesday morning. We've fixed that light on. I've got the wiring just on spade terms at the minute while we test it. We've run the main wire all the way to the side. Obviously it's supposed to have side lights, but most of them are broken, so I can't really wire those in. I've got a couple here which I might try and fix, and then there's one the other side as well which I'll probably try and wire in. So next I've just got to rewire the plug to the cables down there. So that is, oh, let me get my finger out of the way, down there. So that is my first job this morning, and then we'll test it on the Defender and make sure we have lights, and then yeah, we can sort of try and connect the rest of it up. So let's get this sorted. Okay, the lights are all working, and we have a plate holder installed on there. All right, there's no lights for the plate, but you know, we've done what we can. There's not really a plinth anywhere to put a plate, so I don't know how you're supposed to do it. So yeah, that is the best we can do for now. At least I think it's pretty much legal. We don't have side lights. I don't know how legal that is or not, but you know, we've got tail lights, we've got brake, we've got tail light, side light, and we've got indicator. So that's better than it was before, put it that way. Hello. So this morning, it is Thursday. I had a little meeting this morning. I might have a new office. Now, I saw a job advert come up for a part-time tractor driver. Now, as you know, I like my vintage tractors, but I don't really have experience of proper farming. So I emailed them. It's a local farm to me, in the same village, so a couple of minutes up the road. So I emailed them and said, look, I drive, look after, show vintage tractors. Never driven anything like this. So I'm not what they're looking for. But if they have the opportunity to be able to allow me to come along and shadow someone, help out for free, just to gain some experience, I'd really appreciate it. Well, I wasn't expecting to hear anything, but I got an email back saying, yeah, come and see us. Come and have a chat. So I've been up there this morning. And looks like I might be the driver. The guy was lovely. He showed me around the tractors, let me have a little go in a John Deere. I did have my phone recording in my pocket because I thought if he was telling me stuff, my memory's not great. So I thought if I record it all, at least I can watch it back and try and take in some of the things he's taught me or told me initially before I go back again. So yeah, so if I can get a bit of video off there, I'll put it in. I won't put the sound in, obviously, because we were talking about bits and pieces. So I just if there's no sound, don't worry. So yeah, so I might have a new office. Now, it will be part-time. It's not going to be full-time. Obviously, over harvest, it could potentially be very, very full-time. But he's aware I have, obviously, the workshop, my own little business, and he doesn't want someone full-time. The reason he said about experience was so he didn't really have to train someone, but when he thought about it, he thought he didn't want someone coming in who knows everything and it turns out doesn't know anything or gets it all wrong. So he said he'd rather train someone who's a bit more mature and thinks I could be a good fit. So yeah, so basically I can go in as a self-employed driver when he needs me. And then he hasn't got to find things for an employed driver to do when it's quiet. So I can just come and go when he needs me, which absolutely sounds perfect to me. He also wants to put me through my loading certificates, loader certificates, forklift things. So I can load trailers and stuff like that. So that's another little bonus. So yeah, so it's going to be part-time. So in a couple of weeks, I've got to go back and spend a day in the tractor, driving it with a trailer, without a trailer, up and down the road, make sure I'm all happy. And if it's all good, we'll progress from there. So, yeah. So there might be a bit of a difference in the channel coming up. There might be a bit of farming content. There'll still be a workshop. Obviously, I've still got customers' cars booked in. I've still got Land Rovers to do. So, yeah. So it's a bit exciting. Nervous, but excited. Yeah, I'm quite excited about it. So yeah, so I just thought I'd let you know. Today's Thursday. I should probably be back up the workshop tomorrow. And we will, I don't know, do something. I was supposed to use the trailer last night, but unfortunately the guy with the Land Rovers wasn't very well, so he asked if I didn't come, but they will obviously have to come in at some point. So yeah, right, I just thought I'd update you. I will catch you tomorrow. Okay, so back in the workshop for Friday. I got the Defender back in. Still get the brakes binding on. I think it's the fronts. But now I've obviously parked up when I got here and I couldn't push it. Now it's in the workshop, it rolls freely. So something's binding and not releasing. So I think what I might do is replace the calipers, the discs and pads, just on the off chance. But I have noticed something else. There's oil coming out of the centre. Now there shouldn't really be any oil coming out of there, so I'm guessing the stub axle seal has gone. A quick look up on the old parts catalogue has shown that it's FTC 3145. I happen to have one in stock. I have this in the back of the truck. It's got all UJs and wheel bearings and brake pipes and all stuff in, just in case anything gets damaged out in the field. So I think I need to strip the front hub down. Joy. First job is to drain the axle, because obviously we've obviously got some cross contamination, so I just want to drain this out. So it's just a 1/2 inch socket, but obviously you've got to make sure that you can open your fill first to make sure that you can get it out, which I can. So yeah, I'm just going to undo this and let all the oil come out. In theory there should be 1.7 litres coming out of there, so we'll let that drain while we get the wheel and that off, and then we'll pour it into another container and measure it out and see how much come out and if we've lost much of it. Right, so as you can see behind the cap, it is horrible and oily, and the cap is full of grease and oil. So yeah, we need to get all this off and investigate what's going on, I think. First I'm going to undo these 17s and the, what they called, circlip, and pop the front cover off. Just cleaned up with brake cleaner, and as you can see there's a circlip. Just got to pop that circlip off and then we can remove the drive flange. Okay, caliper is off. Sorry, caliper is off. I've now got to tap through the lock washer and then undo the lock nut, and then behind the lock washer is another nut that holds the hub on. So let's bend them straight and undo them. Okay, so you've got two 52mm nuts and then the lock washer in between. I've straightened that out in the vise so I can use it again. But yeah, so 52mm socket, or you can get the long box ones that you put like an extension bar through and do. I've got one of those for out in the field, but 52mm socket in the workshop. And then as you can see, the bearing's loose, so we can now pull this whole hub off. So we're gonna have to give all this a good clean out in a minute. The bearings front and rear, make sure they're all right, clean them out and re-grease them all. And this is what it looks like without. You've got a stub axle that goes over the shaft. So we need to undo these bolts here, and then this stub axle will come off, and then we should be able to get to the seal. Right, I've got the stub axle on the bench. I have tapped out the bearing to get the seal out, and I've slightly damaged that bearing. So in our parts, we've got a new one, and there's the new seal. So the new seal goes in with the lip towards the hub, towards the hub, and then the manufacturer's details, so the part number stuff, goes by the bearing, like that. So let's clean this out and get this in here. I want just to say, this ring had come off the old bearing, so that's definitely was definitely on its way out, let's say. Okay, the new seal and the bearing is tapped in. I used an impact socket, 32mm, just with a hammer. Just give it a tap on top and push it home. I've cleaned this surface up. There is a bit of pitting, but the gasket should hopefully help with that. So yeah, we can, I think, start putting it back together, really. Okay, so I have repacked the bearing, changed the oil seal. I had one of them in stock as well. I used the old one just to tap the new one in. So that's all done. So now that hub can go back on the stub axle, and then we can clean the front bearing up, repack it and put it on as well. Right, put my hub nut in, tightened it up, bent over the lock washer, tightened the other one up, bent the washer back the other way as well, and put the drive flange on. Now to get the drive shaft out so you can get the hub on, to get the circlip on, you use one of your hub bolts, screw it in, and then you can pull this out, and then that'll enable you to get your shims and your circlip on. Now filling it with EP8090, it's about 1.7 litres. I did get 2 litres out, so it was either overfilled or we've got a load of water in there. But either way, you fill it up until it starts weeping out the fill plug. So I'll get that done. And as you can see, it's just started seeping out, so we can put the fill plug back in. And tighten it up. Okay, next job is to fill the swivel. Hang on, there it is. You've got to take out this plug, and then
you fill it with one of these. You take the lid off, put the tube on and squeeze it all in.
Now, because of the way it's set up, take the lid, take the nut out, and you put the steering on full right-hand lock, which means you can then get the fluid in. Otherwise, the joint's in the way. So, right, I'm going to squeeze it in. Right, so that's that for this week. Again, I've been busy doing other things, but I've done a few bits and pieces in here. So, yeah, exciting times. I haven't heard anything else about the tractor yet, but it's only been a couple of days, so I'm sure it'll come. So thanks for watching. Like, subscribe and share. Have a lovely weekend, and I'll see you next week when we do something else.